You know, the first time I sang on the stage was my high school graduation. And I must have been really good, because here it is only 23 years later and they've asked me back. I'm so happy.
We're so happy to have you back.
Tell the story, Michael.
You know, I read in the paper recently that there are some theologians who are touting the theory that Jesus was actually Irish and not Jewish. I mean,
I couldn't help myself.
Their evidence is largely circumstantial at this point, but it's pretty compelling. I mean, it sounds like an Irishman if you think about it. He was 33 years old and never married. He had 12 buddies that he hung around and drank with, and his mother thought he was God. Sounds like a lot of Irishmen I know. Well, this is a story about a fellow named Seamus, not the Seamus that those fellas talked about, but a young man, a not so young man who gets married late in life. His mother's very happy about it and decides to give him a present. So let's tell the story of Seamus. Now Seamus was a happy man, for soon he would be wed. He found a brisk and bonny lass to take into his bed. Happier still his mother was that he had found a wife, for the truth to tell she often feared to be stuck with him for life. In honor of the grand affair the wedding was to be, she set about to weave a kilt, the finest ever seen. The night before the wedding, when the kilt was finally done, she called young Seamus to her and she tried it on her son. It's a fine thing, a fine thing, the grandest ever seen. She called young Seamus to her and she tried it on her son. Now she wound the kilt around him, and she wound and wound and wound. And when she finished pleating, it was still 8 yards too long. Never fear, the mother said, we'll simply cut it off. And to your blushing bride, we will give the extra cloth. It's a fine thing, a bonny thing, the grandest ever seen. And to your blushing bride, we will give the extra cloth. Now Seamus was so proud, you know, his heart was filled with pride. He felt he had to rush right off and show it to his bride. 'Twas raining, so he grabbed a cloak to shield him on the moor. But in his haste to be away, his kilt slammed in the door. It's a fine thing, a bonny thing, the grandest ever seen. But in his haste to be away, his kilt slammed in the door. Now Seamus wasn't such a rush to show it to his bride. He never really noticed that his kilt was left behind. He knocked upon her door and said, oh, let me in, I pray. There's something that you've got to see before our wedding day. It's a fine thing, a bonny thing, the grandest ever seen. There's something that you've got to see before our wedding day. The plot thickens. Now Bridget let him in, you know, but said, you cannot stay. No, I've got to get my guilty sleep before our wedding day. I'll only be a moment, love, for it's so grand, my dear. You simply gotta see what I'm a-hiding under here.
Mercy.
It's a fine thing, a bonny thing, the grandest ever seen. You simply gotta see what I'm a-hiding under here. And when the cloak was swept away and Seamus stood quite bare, I must admit she was impressed and tried hard not to stare.